Welcome aboard, Skylark Outdoors here, and today we are reviewing the Bayliner T24CC, which is a Bayliner center console boat at 24 feet. As we enter the back here, you can see we actually do have a fairly large swim platform, and even though this is a center console, you can see right there they've got a post for towing a tube, water skiing, whatever water sports you want to take on, and you can remove that or leave that in, no problems. And then in the stern here, you can see we've got a lot of fish holders, some on the back of the seat. Underneath there, we've got a live well. We've got the helm up here with a nice little steering setup, and they've got Simrad electronics on here and clean layouts for the switches. Nothing fancy, but it works. But most of all, they do have two cup holders, which you can never have too many cup holders on the boat. Now, what I like about this is that you do have that fold down seat in the back. There is our other live well, and then you've got more cup holders, some rod holders on the side, and then there were some rod holders on the stern, as well as additional rod holders up here on the T-top that already has some canvas on it. Now, what I like about this boat is its price point. You can build one of these. This one says it's $83,000, but if you go online as of 2024, you can build one of these starting at $65,655 for a 24-foot center console. Right here, we've got a nice little head. Not anything special, but it is nice that on this size boat, you do have a head, so when nature calls, you can use it on the water. Up here in the front, we've got our seating, and you could probably fit 2 or 3 people there, and then you've got another bench. You could probably fit 2 people or maybe 3 kids there, and then you do have a little anchor locker up here in the front, so you can fit whatever you need for this. So no windlass, but you do have the anchor locker, which is nice. Some boats eliminate that on this size, or the anchor locker is underneath the seat. You can see that's the nice 2-seater there. You've got room for rod storage, as well as a gaff, boat hook, whatever you want right there. And then there is a little pocket underneath the seat for some additional storage. There are 2 insulated fish boxes on this, and so you do have a fair amount of space. You can see the live wells back here for whatever bait you are going to be using. More cup holders back here with the rods. So this does have a lot of cup holders, and it does have a 12-person capacity. You've got some speakers here, but I like that these live wells are big enough you can get down in there and clean them out if you need to. Now, let's go into the specifications on this particular boat. It is 24 feet, can fit 12 people, has 300 horsepower max, and it is 8'6" wide, which means that you have no problem being able to tow this with whatever you want that is a truck for the most part. With an SUV, unless you've got a larger SUV, you probably won't be able to tow this unless it has that 6,500 pound capacity. Now, in the rear here, you can see that this swim platform is actually fairly large for this size boat, so you can easily get on and off the boat, as well as you're going to be able to swim off of it, use the ladder, whatever, no problem there. So it is a really nice size, and you can see we've got 1, 2, 3 cup holders, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 rod storage holders there. Now it's got a 2'11" draft, and if you wanted to store this in, let's say, your garage, it is 25 feet 7 inches long with the trailer. And that's because you can fold that front trailer hitch on that. So it's got the front section where you can fold. So if you're trying to fit this in a barn or a garage, that makes it easier to store. It's got a 22-degree dead rise and a 100-gallon gas capacity. So this is set up like a true center console and true fishing boat with that 22-degree dead rise, which is steeper than some other ones, and that means that you're just going to have a smoother ride in the waves, and when you're out there fishing, should help you. And then a 100-gallon gas capacity is a good size for this size boat, so you can get where you need to go. And a couple other features is it's got trim tabs, 15-gallon bait well. It also has that folding rear seat we just saw. And what I like about it, self-bailing cockpit, but that's going to be pretty standard on a boat like this. So what category does this boat fit in, or what would I use it for? Obviously, you could use this for fishing. But what I like about it is it does have a fairly nice setup, even if you want to take people out for just a cruise, have a good time. It's kind of one of those hybrid boats where you have enough seating and space to take people out, but you can still fish on this boat. That front area, you can leave those cushions in, or you can take them out. If you leave them in, it's more kind of like a day bed. You can lay out there. If you take them out, it's going to be just more seating or better set up for fishing. And then that rear seat in the back where you can fit 2 or maybe 3 people, that does add some additional seating, as well as you could throw in, let's say, a cooler where I walked in at. You could fit another 2 or 3 people to get your 12 people on this boat. Now, I do like that you can easily tow this with most trucks, but it is under that 5,000. It's over that 5,000 pound for SUVs. So if you wanted to tow with an SUV, you probably need to go down to the next size down, which is the Bayliner T242CC, which we've got actually right next to this, and we did a video on. So check that out in the description. Take a look at our review on the T22 CC, or the Bayliner 22 center console, which is just a little bit smaller than this, and I believe gets you under the 5,000 pounds. And now's a great time. If you're watching this, please subscribe, like this video, and then if you want to learn how to be a better boater, take a look down in the description below, as well as we've got some classes and courses there, and some other interesting links that are just really fun stuff to enjoy the outdoors, be a better boater, and or learn how to maintain your boat, as well as just have fun outside. So I think this is a neat boat from Bayliner. I think it's interesting that they're in the center console lineup, in addition to being more, let's say, a traditional sports boat, a water sports boat, where you're going to go ski, you're going to go fish, you're going to take the family for a ride around the lake, and you're going to trailer it home, and or you could leave it on a lift. But typically Bayliner keeps a lot of their boats under that 30-foot size, more on the economical side of things. But really, walking through this, I walked some higher end boats, I'm not going to name names, that had pretty much the exact same build quality as this for 4 times the price, and it felt like that other brand was resting on their laurels. And where did I notice the differences? It was in the hardware of things like the seats, the T-tops, the structures, and stuff like cleats. So fiberglass is fiberglass. There's maybe a little bit difference in the finish, maybe a little bit difference in the structure. But what you'll notice is there's some manufacturers out there right now, which will be 3, maybe 4 times the cost for a very similar boat like this. And when you get on it, functionally, it doesn't do that much difference. And from what I looked at and what I felt, being on some of those other boats, I did feel like, hey, this is a heck of a value for what you are getting, and it's not that much different. You will have just as much fun on this boat as that other boat. Now, I'm not talking about once you get into a really high-end center console boat that everyone knows is something that is an offshore capable boat. And how you're going to know that that is set up for offshore capable hardcore fishing is you're going to have a higher horsepower rating for the engines. You're usually going to have twin engines, and you're going to have a much larger gas capacity. Those are the most determining factors, at least in my mind, in terms of a fishing boat, as well as you're going to have a much steeper dead rise. And most of those boats are not 8'6". They're going to be wider, which does lead to other issues like trailering. You got to have a bigger trailer. You got to have a bigger truck to pull it, as well as in some areas you are going to need a permit to go down the road once you get over 8'6". But for your average person that wants to get out, go fishing, they want to have some fun with their family, this is a boat that can absolutely do that. So it was really interesting to be at the this is at the Palm Beach International Boat Show, and be able to see all the different manufacturers together, see how they do things differently, and then walk and look at the different quality. Because I think Bayliner does get somewhat of a reputation just because of their price point, not necessarily because of their manufacturing. And you can have high-end boats that have issues, you can have low-end boats that have issues, you can have all kinds of stuff. But I was actually surprised when I walked this, and then I walked another boat that was 3 or 4 times as much, and I was actually kind of unimpressed by the more expensive boat, because it didn't feel like you are getting 3 or 4 times the quality, the features for what you are getting. So that is all I have to say about the review of the Bayliner T24CC. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.